In this video, we're going to learn how to create nav components like nav tabs and nav builds using Bootstrap. So let's start with nav tabs, and let's create some basic nav tabs using Bootstrap. So we're going to create an unordered list, okay? And we're going to place a few list items inside the list. So let's go for 4 list items. So each one is going to have a role presentation, okay, and a link with an href. Okay, so let's just duplicate this. So 4 list items. Okay, so let's add some text inside the link. So let's go for something like home, messages, notifications, and contact us, for example. Okay, so to create nav tabs, we're gonna need to give the list a class. So the first class we're gonna use is gonna be nav. Okay, so you can see how the styling changed, and we can see the hover states when we hover on components. Also, we need another class for nav tabs, so it's going to be nav tabs. Okay, we can already see how the nav tabs are styled now. Okay, so we have created a basic Bootstrap or basic Bootstrap nav tabs using the nav and nav tabs classes. Okay, so now let's do a few more things. Let's add some icons. So let's add an icon just before the home tab using a glyph icon home. So we're going to create a span. Okay. Okay, and we're going to give it a class glyph icon, and then glyph icon home. Okay. All right. Let's do the same thing for messages. So we're gonna add a span just before text, and this time we want to add an envelope just before text. Okay, also we can add a badge right after text showing for example how many new messages the user has got. So to do that, we need to add another span after the text, and this time the span is going to be of class badge. Okay, and let's place some text there. So for example 3 for 3 messages. Okay, we can do the same thing with notifications. We can just copy this span and add it after text. Okay. All right. So we can change the styling of the nav tabs so that they take the whole width of the viewports, and also they can have the same width, all of them. So there is a class for that. It's going to be nav justified. Okay, let's just add this class to the list. Now we can see that they always take the full width of the viewport. So in extra small devices under 768 pixels, we can see that they are stacked, but just beyond 768 pixels, we can see that they take the whole width of the viewport and they are aligned. Okay, and all of them they have the same width. Okay. All right. So let's move to nav bills. So let's create another list. Okay, with some list items. Okay, again, they're gonna have role presentation, and each of them is gonna have a link. With an href. Okay, so let's just duplicate this. So for example, first one, home, and then page 1, page 2, and page 3. Okay, so we're gonna add a class to our list. So first we still need the nav class, okay, and then we are going to use the class nav bills. Okay, so let's make sure that everything is fine. Oh, okay, we place this outside the link. Okay, so we've just created basic nav bills using Bootstrap. We can make these stacked if we want to by adding the nav stacked class. Okay. Also, we can make a certain item active. So let's say first item. So let's make it active. We need to use the class active for that. Okay. We can do the same thing with our nav tabs. So let's make the home item active. Okay, by adding class active. Okay. All right. So okay, let's add something else. Let's make a certain item disabled. So to do that, let's make the page 3 item disabled. So we need to add the class disabled. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. All right. So we have learned how to create nav components, basic nav components using Bootstrap. In the next video, we'll get introduced to nav bars.